So again, it goes back to the ideas and it goes back to the characters. And if you're really invested in these films, hopefully you take the message away from them.
Something you said a second ago that I want to help. Not everyone watching this and hearing this right now is a huge horror movie fan. And you mentioned, I'm going to call it criteria, if you will, between not so great horror and phenomenally amazing horror. Can you give us any tips or ideas about what makes a really great horror movie, and even one or two examples of a theme or an element in an amazing horror movie that's not in the, what was the two things you said earlier, the blood and
The
something?
blood and boobs.
Who can you
Yeah.
of us out there who may or may not love, we love movies hopefully, but maybe we're not shoulder deep in horror. Tell us what
Yeah.
it is, tell us some criteria, and give us one or two lessons.
Well, I think it all starts with the characters, which then reflects on the script. So if it's a really well written script, if it has characters that A, you care about, and B, are telling a story within a story, basically. Like they're by living through their story, they're telling us how we should be living our lives. Of course, we know because of Scream and movies like that, we know the rules of horror. Don't say I'll be right back and all that kind of stuff. But beyond that, there are things that make a horror film great. And as I was saying before, I think it's a lot of really pray, being on the side of the outcasts. So if you think of movies like Frankenstein, a lot of people will say that the monster is the monster, but the monster is not the monster. Um, where the society not accepting the monster is the real monster. That's a film that tries to show us how to accept people who are not like us. Some people may say that science is the monster. I am not that kind of person. But there are, that sort of, there's a commentary in that film too, that, maybe we shouldn't do everything that we are able to do with science. So there are, things like that are just in that one film. Uh, for, queer culture and women's rights, we have, films like Hereditary that go dive into dealing with grief. So as long as your characters are doing something important, they're not just playing with a Ouija board or running into a shed full of chainsaws, as long as they're making smart decisions, that sort of thing. I think it elevates it to the next level. Movies like The Exorcist, obviously. More recently, I thought Barbarian, just from last year, was outstanding. Just in that way of telling the story, that was creative to me. They chose to break it into three parts. I don't know if you saw the film, but they
Very.
chose to break it in. Yeah, they chose to break it into three parts, and so that is something that would make it stand out as well. The storytelling itself. So there are many things that make a film that could make a film great, and there are many great ones out there. Ones that stick with you forever. Jaws. A lot of people didn't want to go in the water after that. So again, it goes back to the ideas and it goes back to the characters. And if you're really invested in these films, hopefully you take the message away from them. I guess.
Richard, thank you. The book is called The Horror Movie Night Cookbook. Richard S. Sargent. as we wrap up, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your intelligence and your passion for movies and art and cooking and horror movies. For those of us who want to follow you, who want to browse the book, where can we find the book? Where can we learn more about you? Tell us the website, the social media, anything you'd like.
Sure. Yeah, the book can be found, I believe, at any local bookstore or online, Barnes and Noble, Amazon, that sort of thing. Um, if you want to learn more about me or just maybe get bonus recipes every now and then on my Instagram, you can follow the Horror Movie Night Cookbook Instagram or my own personal one, or Sargent 83. So I'm on Facebook as well. You can find me on there. Um, yeah, stay in touch. Tell me what you like, and if you host your own, tag me in that sort of stuff. I'd love to see how your recipes come out, what you would change. I'd love feedback. So if you do try any of this, please contact me online and let me know what you liked and what you didn't.